I'm Lauren with Pack Hacker, and today we're going to be talking about the Air Travel Sling 2, which I've been testing for the last 2 weeks. Be sure to check out the full review in the link down below, and let's get into it. So starting off with the materials here, we have a 1680D Cordura ballistic nylon exterior, which if you're familiar with Air, that's pretty standard for you. There are also YKK zippers on all of the zippers here, as well as Duraflex plastic hardware. So this bag is pretty built to last. It's gonna be able to go through quite a bit with you, which is always very comforting because it is a nice bag to take on a day-to-day basis. So looking at this outside here, there are 3 pockets. This one here goes to the main compartment. This one here is a quick grab pocket. And then this one out here is just a front pocket that's a bit larger. We didn't really have any need for this huge one, and when we get in there we'll kind of explain why, or I'll explain why, but it was nice to have all of these storage options, especially this quick access zipper here. There's very subtle branding right here with the little Air tab, and on either side of these zippers there are pull tabs that act kind of as attachment points. Otherwise they don't really have a purpose. At least we couldn't really find a reason to have them there other than just having a point to attach like a carabiner or a water bottle or something like that. At the base here, there are compression straps. This is also another feature we didn't use a ton just because this bag is pretty secure on its own. You know, it does tighten things up a little bit, but it's nothing that makes a huge impact. They're nice to have, but we didn't need them a ton. This top grab handle sets out pretty far from the bag itself, but it was really handy. It never got in the way, and it was always in a good spot to grab. So, you know, when we were grabbing from a car, we were able to pull it pretty easily, or if we were, you know, just wanting to carry it how it is like this, like a little briefcase, then you can grab it like that as well. So going to the back here, looking at the straps, there's this one large strap that acts as a crossbody because this is a sling. So you could only wear this one way. There's no adjustment points, you know, it's all securely in there. So you kind of have to commit to putting it over that left shoulder. But the other benefit is that it also acts as a single strap carry. So you can just carry it like this. And as you can see, it's kind of offset to the side, which makes it comfortable to carry over your right shoulder. So there are a few options for carrying, either the handle as a sling or as a one-strap backpack. There's also this carry handle here. Never really found myself grabbing for this because, again, this one here was so accessible. As for taking this pack on and off, there's this pretty durable clip right here. So if you wanted to just set it and forget it, you didn't have to mess with any of the strapping when you were putting it on or taking it off. But if you did, which this is kind of how I found myself doing it, this pulls out really clean. So that actually adds a little bit of distance so you can easily expand. You see it went from being all the way here to then pulling, and the strap gets that much looser. So it was really easy to make quick adjustments, whether the pack was already on me or if I was trying to take it off. You know, this made it very, very easy. Unfortunately, it did get a little bit obnoxious because this adjustment strap is so long. Like, it would just hang down next to me when I was wearing the sling as a regular sling, or when it was even longer if I just carried it as a single strap backpack. But there is this elastic strap keeper here that you can kind of move down, and it keeps it in line with the pack here. So if you see, you know, as it hangs a little bit closer to the pack, but you still have this extra material here. So regardless of how you wear it, you know, that is gonna hang. Air in their photos, they kind of show it being like wrapped up and tucked in here, but I actually was never able to do that. So even like now you can see I'm kind of struggling to get it in there. So that's not something that I'm gonna be able to do on the go. I mean, it might get a little bit easier with practice, but I found it easier to just adjust it how I need, slide this down, and I was good to go. Because this is within their travel line, it is kind of more based for people who are traveling frequently. So there is a luggage pass-through as well, which makes it sit up kind of like a briefcase. Unfortunately, if you do carry it like a briefcase, there's nowhere for this strap to go, so it does kind of just hang out. Again, I never really carried it that way for long periods of time, so it was never a big issue, but something to keep in mind. So moving to the inside of the bag, kind of starting with this outside zipper pocket here. The YKK zipper has the aqua guard here that makes it pretty weather resistant, which is nice because that's the most outwardly facing pocket. In here, you can see it's pretty spacious, but there is a bit of an issue with getting things in there when the entire bag itself is pretty packed out, which I'll get into a bit later. But there is a key strap here, so that fits nicely. It's a bit of an awkward length, like it's enough to potentially get it in a door, but I found myself just kind of sticking my keys in this pocket without the strap. Because this elastic here keeps it pretty tight in there. Like I never had issues with things falling out of these two pockets. In the other pocket is where I would keep my wallet, or I would, you know, take that out if I wanted to access it even quicker, put it in this quick grab pocket, which is closest to this main compartment. So wallet fits pretty nicely in there. This pocket itself is pretty spacious. Didn't really change the outside look of the bag. So going in here, say I have the wallet, I have phone, headphones, chapstick, and my mask. So it fits a good amount of stuff in here. You can see the pocket is pretty deep. You know, it fits pretty much my entire hand. So this was my most used pocket, I would say, out of everything. I could just kind of stick that in, shove that in, this, and it still closed pretty easily. There is, you can see here, a bit of a garage, so it does keep that completely shut, because these are probably going to be your more frequently accessed stuff, like a passport or boarding pass or something like that. None of the other zippers have that. You can see here, there's a bit of a gap right towards the seam, and then same here, there's a bit of a gap between the two zippers. So going into the main compartment, you can kind of already see that with everything packed in here, it's pretty tight. So these are a bit larger of headphones than you might be traveling with in general, but it's worth noting that because this case is so stiff, you know, it has a little bit of flexibility to it, but once it's in the pocket and you go to close it, like you lose out on that space. It doesn't really have a ton of flexibility there. So you can see in here, in this outside pocket, it butts up against where that headphone is. So the pack itself, I noticed, was pretty difficult to pack out pretty tight. You really started to lose space once you put a laptop in here and got these pockets filled with larger gear. I tried to use it kind of as an overnight bag, and I had a packing cube in here, and I did struggle to get it zipped up. So just kind of be mindful that if you're looking for a bag that's, you know, a full travel pack, this is more so like a day-to-day carry pack where you can keep all of your tech and stuff you want to keep on hand, rather than, you know, keeping everything that you're going to be wearing from a day-to-day basis. So going through these pockets here, there's this outside kind of like U-shaped pocket, and this just holds this external pocket here, this quick grab pocket. That just tucks neatly in there, which is nice because, you know, then it's completely out of the way. And there's also like a good amount of space left. So if you wanted to shove stuff in here, you totally could. But we found that there was, you know, more than enough availability elsewhere. Here I've got just the tech pouch, headphones, and then in these pockets here, there are 2 spots for pen, pencil, whatever you use, and then a mesh pocket here. This just has dental floss and eye drops. So I will also say that this mesh is not very tight. So unlike this bag here, where you can see it's pretty tight to the bag, the elastic up there, this one here is loose. So I had issues with this kind of stuff falling out, mostly because this mesh pocket is up here. So when you are wearing the pack, it's gonna be like this, or it's gonna be hanging like this. So however you have it, this is kind of at an angle, either completely sideways or at a diagonal, so it can get a little bit obnoxious when you open your bag and stuff is strewn everywhere, but it's kind of small, so it's not like you're putting a ton of stuff in there anyway. But just kind of something to keep in mind. So putting this back in here, you see it packs out pretty well. In this area over here, there's this strap that's just Velcro. It's a bit loose, so if you line up the Velcro on Velcro and you look at the pack, it comes out pretty far. So there's a good amount of leniency with these pockets. You can pack them out further if you need to, but in order to keep things tight, I found myself just kind of pushing it down as far as possible. But this one does get in the way a little bit. I found myself either tucking it here or just tucking it behind while I was packing things in and out, just so that I didn't have to deal with it. But when you do go in for quick grabs, it is something that you have to work around. So I've got a keyboard here and a notebook, and then my full laptop. So this laptop sleeve fits up to a 16-inch laptop, and it is padded on the back. You can kind of see it's like this fuzzy material that's nice and cushy. So it added padding for the laptop, but also kind of added a little bit to the back edge here, just because there's no mesh. There is mesh on these straps, but there's no mesh on the back. So everything fits in pretty nicely. I mean, even with an overlapping keyboard and notebook, there's still enough space for this. But to kind of give you an example of how it gets tight for anything in this area, say I want to carry a water bottle, there's not really a good spot to put it in here. That just physically won't close. This one here won't close either, but I could take, say, these out here if my priority is a water bottle, and kind of angle it and then find a way for it to zip close, no problem. So water bottle pockets are, kind of a preference based on what you prefer and what you prioritize. It's not a huge deal. Like I said before, you can even potentially hook it to these outside loops here. But either way, there was a decent amount of space in the pack itself. It was, I really like the sleek look of it. It looks really nice on, and overall, the amount of organization was a huge plus. So there you have it, the Air Travel Sling 2. Check out packhacker.com for more information and the best buying options that support the channel at no additional cost to you. Link down below. We'll see you in the next video.